What's up, guys? It's me again, not your E, but my E. And today I'm here to review The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. This book was the perfect book to start off my summer because it's so relevant to what's going on in the world right now. If I could describe The Nickel Boys in one word, it'd probably be. So, The Nickel Boys is a piece of historical fiction, meaning it's not true, but it's based off of a true timeline of events. The book is set around the 1960s during the peak of the civil rights movement. The story centers around Elwood. He's a bright, ambitious, kind, honest, hardworking, just known for having a good head on his shoulders. Thanks in large part due to his grandmother who was raising him. His parents left in the middle of the night to go to California. Go figure. Anyways, his grandmother never let him hang out with the troublesome kids or the kids who were prone to misbehaving. She was very strict in that way, and Elwood was a very respectable young man because of it. Growing up, Elwood had to accompany her to her job at the hotel after school. That's kind of where he learned the value of hard work. While she was working, he would be in the kitchen learning from the cooks and just kind of being around other men. You can kind of say some of the cooks in the kitchen raised him since his dad left. That's where he got the most of his male influence from. Being the, straight and narrow kid that Elwood is, that led to him receiving a lot of favor from people of authority. So back in the 1960s, from white people, like his teachers, his bosses. One Christmas early in his life, Elwood received the recordings of Dr. Martin Luther King at Zion Hill. He was speaking about discrimination and segregation. This recording really struck a tone with Elwood. He took these words to heart and it became the guiding principles for his life. From then on, he became a man of so much integrity, and it was his desire to stand up for what was right and for what he believed was right. A very stand-up individual that way. Additionally, he had a high school teacher, Mr. Hill, who sparked his interest even further. So back then, there wasn't Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat for everyone to show and display them protesting or being activists. Back then, it was just through word of mouth. So Mr. Hill told stories to his students of his travels, of his activism, of his participation in protests and sit-ins, and boy, did that really light a fire under Elwood. After hearing these stories from Mr. Hill, Elwood just wanted to do more. Becoming his mentor, Mr. Hill helped Elwood gain acceptance into a university for black students. I believe he was going to be able to take some free classes and, just really get a head start. He was going to become the first member of his family to go to college. Now, as many of us are familiar with, college isn't just right around the corner. It's not right across the street. So Elwood had to find a way to get there somehow. And he did, or at least he thought he did. But as he began hitchhiking, turns out he chose the wrong driver from whom to accept a ride from. Little did he know, the driver was a car thief, making Elwood an accomplice, and his dreams of going to the university were shattered, just ruined, just thrown out the door like that. That's kind of relevant what it's like to be a black man in America today. We fear that if we make one mistake, it's over for us. We don't have the luxury of making that one mistake. Instead of heading to the university like he had planned, he ends up on his way to another school, the Nickel Academy Reform School for Boys, the Nickel Boys. Now, this grotesque institution was a poor excuse for a school, for the students were vastly undereducated. This place makes profit off of resources that are supposed to be for the students. Textbooks, food supplies, they take the resources to the nearest town and sell them for profit. But the unfair treatment reached far beyond the limits of just segregation and racial inequality. These boys were mentally, physically, and sexually abused. It was just awful. After quickly learning how foul this place was, Elwood makes it his mission to take it down and bring some justice for the Nickel Boys. Despite warnings and wishes from his new friend Turner, who's actually a returning student to the Nickel Academy Reform School, Turner already knows the ins and outs of the school. He knows about the beatings, or the whippings rather, with Black Beauty. That's what they called the whip, Black Beauty. He knows about the beatings, where they tie you on a huge oak tree down the hill and just hang you there by some iron rings and just leave you there. He knows about the killings where Students just all of a sudden disappear and are never heard from again, but they lie to the students, to their families, and tell them that the boy tried to escape. Despite Turner strongly urging Elwood to reconsider, Elwood proceeds with his plan anyway. On a day that the Nickel Academy is being visited by some government officials or what have you, Elwood decides to pen a letter, and he wants to deliver this letter to the visitors so he can expose the Nickel Academy for the corrupt place that it really is. You know, you have the ideals and the optimism of Elwood and the more realistic approach of Turner. Mix these two together, they're going to have to make some big decisions that affect the rest of their lives. This book is a must read. You want to know what it's like to be a black man in America? No matter how hard you work, how hard you try, how much you learn, no matter how good your intentions are, it still feels like it's us against the world, still overlooked, still sleep on me, still passed up, still feels like you can't win. That's how it feels to be a black man in America. And just like Elwood in this book, every day I feel like I'm one mistake away from going all the way back to the bottom. Now it's time for my next read, The Underground Railroad, also by Colson Whitehead. I like this book so much that I asked for this one for my birthday and I got it. This book actually won a Pulitzer. Like I said in the previous video, you can never go wrong with a book that won a Pulitzer Prize. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Once again, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right there. Check out my other videos. Remember, not your E, but my E. Until next time.